Why do I not call myself an alcoholic anymore? Why do I not call myself an alcoholic? Why do I not call myself sober? And why do I not say that I'm in recovery? I'm Kevin O'Hara for alcoholmastery.com. Today I just wanted to talk about why I don't use the term sober on myself, to say, well, I'm 3.5 years sober or almost 4 years sober or any of that kind of crap. There's 3 reasons for it. First reason is that calling myself sober links me to the past. It keeps me going back into the past. Sober is a label, right? It's like anything else, any other word that you use, like recovery or like alcoholic, like freedom, like journey, new journey, which I prefer. And it sort of pins you into a corner, it puts you into a box, sellotapes the box shut, and there's a label put over the sellotape, and that's it, you're pinned inside the box then, you've got this label on yourself. And, labels mean a lot because they've got a lot of baggage attached to them, they've got a lot of other little side words that, little meanings that are attached to them. For instance, sober is attached to alcohol, it's attached to alcoholic, it's attached to being a previous drunk, being a previous alcohol user. It's attached to victim, even though you might not be a victim anymore, but it's still attached to that kind of thinking, right? It's attached to all the old life that I want to leave behind me, right? In my opinion, in my life, in my mind, I used to be a drunk. I used to be a drinker. I used to drink a lot. I probably squandered a lot of my life thinking about drinking, and putting up with the consequences of that drinking, going through all those hangovers. I read yesterday, just this thought came into my mind now of the hangover bus. It's a new thing, I think it's somewhere probably in America. Only in America, sorry America, but Jesus Christ. You can get this, there's a bus going around, I don't know if it's in Vegas or one of these places, and you can basically get on this bus when you've got a hangover, and they say they'll cure your hangover by putting you on vitamin drips and all this kind of stuff within 45 minutes. Anyway, getting off this topic there, but that's just, it saddens me the way the world is going, for fuck's sake. Really, people don't realise what they're doing to themselves. This is the reason why I want to put as much distance between myself and my old alcohol drinking life as I possibly can, because do you remember the movie The Groundhog Day with Bill Murray, where he woke up at the same time every morning, Sonny and Cher playing I Got You Babe on the radio, and he basically was in the same thing, the same people coming up to him, and whatever he did to try and change it, even killing himself, he'd wake up the next morning and things would be exactly smack back where he started off. Well, that's how I felt like my alcohol drinking days were, When I try and remember days gone by when I was drinking, it's very difficult for me because it feels like it was the same day, it was the same, I was doing exactly the same things, going to the same pub, sitting in the same part of the pub. If I could, I'd be sitting on the same stool with the same people, drinking the same drink. And when you do that often enough, it becomes like one cyclic Groundhog Day where you don't remember anything. You don't remember any single event because it's all mashed up together. Since I've quit drinking, I get none of that. I can remember days now. It seems to me like the last 3.5 years, I've done so much, you know, and so I can remember, like for instance, a holiday I took, the first holiday I took after I quit drinking. I can't remember any holidays before I quit drinking, but this holiday and every other one that I've taken since stands out in my mind. Why? Because I wasn't clouding my judgment. I wasn't doing the same things. I wasn't going on holidays and trying to feed my face with alcohol. And in doing so, I wasn't making this just like the last holiday, only in a different situation. You know, the scenery changes, the vista changes, but the brain is still stuck in the loop. So it doesn't matter if the scenery changes, because the brain doesn't take any notice of the scenery because it's more interested in the internal drunkenness, right? So, like I say, all that has changed since I stopped drinking. So, you know, that's one of the reasons why I don't like calling myself sober, because it links me back to that time, right? That the drunkenness. It's like I said before, you know, if it's like a fat person, an obese person, all of a sudden going on a diet, losing massive amounts of weight, say 100 pounds or whatever it is that they're losing, and still calling themselves fat, you know, or, you know, making up some other term, I don't know, what would you call yourself after you've been off the 4 cheese pizzas for 3 or 4 years? Skinny, you know, I'm living the skinny life now. I don't know, but you know what I mean. It just doesn't make any sense to do that. The second reason is that it gives authority to the stupid term normal drinkers, right? It gives credit to it, it gives credence to it, adds credence to this. And there is no such thing as a normal drug taker. You know, if we just don't do that as human beings. I mean, we might do it as human beings, but you know, if you want to live the best life that you can, if you want to look after your body, look after your brain, if you want to optimize your chances in this life of getting the best out of this life, you know, of pushing yourself to, I'm not talking about the big achievements, right? And you know, you have to be this and you have to be number one in that, and number one in this, number one in that. I'm talking about personal achievements which make you want to get up in the morning and go, yay, yay! Every morning you're happy to hop up out of the bed because you know you've got something bright to look forward to, right? You can't achieve that as a drug user. So even if you're a weekend drug user, even if you are the type of person that goes down to the pub, like I was as well, I was a weekend drug user. I was also a weak drug user, in more sense of the word than one. And it just screwed around with my life so much. It was unreal. You know, there was no way that I was anywhere near my getting where I should have been, or getting where I needed to go, where I wanted to go. My potential was just completely wasted day after day after day after day. So if that's normalcy, then I want nothing to do with normalcy. Maybe it is, and maybe I'm making a big deal out of this normal life. I mean, there's a lot of sayings that say, well, you know, there's various different people say it in different ways, but it basically comes down to, if you are doing something that everyone else is doing, then you're doing something wrong, right? If you want to achieve optimum performance, if you want to achieve your happiness goals in life and you're trying to do what everyone else is doing, then stop doing that and do something else. So maybe from that perspective, normal drinkers is a right term to use, because you know, most people are like sheep. They'll just do what the next person is doing and go along with the herd. carry on doing that, and whatever, whatever the consequences, they don't think about the consequences. They hide those behind their own justifications, So I don't like that. I don't want to do that. I did it for long enough, and so from this perspective, it's another reason why I don't use the term sober on myself, because it adds credence to that normal drinker, and I don't think there's anything normal. Personally, I don't think there's anything normal about putting a poison into your body. There's nothing sane in it. It's a form of insanity, group insanity, societal insanity, whatever you want to call it, but it is fucking mad, stupid, fucking whatever you want to call this, there's nothing normal about it, unless you define normal as being something that most people do. So the third reason I don't call myself sober or add this label to myself is that I want to get back to sort of as clean living as I can, right, to the sort of cleanliness that I had before I started drinking, right, before I started smoking. I want to be cleaner than that if I can, not talking about physically. I'm not going to get to that stage, right, because obviously when you're young you're a lot cleaner, you're physically cleaner than when you get older, but psychologically and the stuff that I'm putting into my mouth, the stuff that I'm feeding my brain on, I want to try and get as clean as I can. And I didn't call myself sober before I started drinking alcohol, so why should I call myself sober now? It just doesn't make any sense. At the end of the day, change is natural, right? Change happens. Change is wise, when you make changes in your life, when you make self-directed changes, change is going to happen regardless of what you think about it and how it comes into your life, right? It's going to happen. It happens. But the mark of somebody who is learning, who is having a bit of wisdom in this life, is to try and direct as much of that change as you can. So for me, it's very difficult to make these changes when you're trying to hold on to the past, right? When you're trying to hold on to thoughts about alcohol, thoughts about what you're missing out on, how much it would be nice to have a drink now, or how much it would be nice to go out with all your buddies and stuff and go through that, how much it would be nice to add the glass of Rioja to this red meat that you're eating, whatever it is, holding on to the past. And you can hold on to the past in the words that you use about yourself. So I never use that word. I never call myself sober. It's the same as I don't call myself a teetotaler. I don't call myself any of those names that put a label on me and for somebody else's thinking, right, to say, well, yeah, you understand this, so this is what I am. I'm not anything like that, I'm just don't drink alcohol, period. I don't smoke, I don't take drugs, I don't mess around with dangerous sexual encounters. I don't do any of that stuff, right, because I want to try and feed my body as much as I can, and it might sound fucking stupid, right? It might sound like, well, you can't get to that, but you've got to try these things with yourself, so this is the only body that I have. Yours is the only body that you have. It's the only body that you're ever going to have. So you've got to treat it as if it was a supercar, treat it the best way that you can. If you went out tomorrow and if you had the money, or somebody gifted you the money and you bought a pedigree racehorse, if you spent £1 million on a pedigree racehorse, you'd make sure the thing was fed properly, exercised properly, and you do your best to keep it healthy, but we don't do that with our own bodies. You know, we're more interested in what is going on the outside than in what is going on the inside, you know. And it's a sad way of looking at things, and unfortunately for most of us, we only start to think about those things when things start going wrong in our lives, you know, when our health starts to suffer and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, that's long enough for this one. If you have any questions, I'll leave them down below in the comments section. Come on over to the website and sign up for the newsletter. You get daily videos into your inbox. Until next time, I'm Kevin O'Hara for alcoholmastery.com. Take care, stay safe, keep the alcohol out of your mouth, onwards and upwards. Good luck.